Kill Bill was an experimental film released to theaters in 2003. Written and directed by acclaimed filmmaker Quentin Tarantino, Kill Bill was an immediate success with the world audience. Inspired by the 1973 Japanese samurai film Lady Snowblood, Tarantino meticulously emulated its style and narrative during production. These influences shaped Kill Bill into a modern adaptation, emphasizing similar cinematography and themes of vengeance and justice.
Lady Snowblood, a Japanese samurai female revenge film, which was a big inspiration to him.
To grasp Kill Bill's adaptation and inspiration from Lady Snowblood, we must first examine each film individually. Lady Snowblood, a 1970s Japanese action film by Toshiya Fujita, part of Japanese New Wave cinema, follows Yuki, born in a prison from a tragic assault and driven by a lifelong curse for vengeance. It explores themes of control and revenge in a male-dominated world, shown in its plot, characters, and values. Kill Bill is a modern manifestation of this early film, with similar backstories and goals, though executed in a modern context. Kill Bill was released at the turn of the millennium, where advancements in computers, social media, and CGI diverged from trends in modern action films like the X-Men, Fast and Furious, and Charlie's Angels. Quentin Tarantino aimed for a minimal CGI, opting for practical effects, while also giving the same feel of CGI action, creating a bizarre blend of samurai films, 1960 westerns, and 2000s actions.
One was mostly like Japanese samurai and Hong Kong kung fu films and stuff, with a little bit of spaghetti western.
Kill Bill follows an unnamed woman simply known as the Bride, a former member of an assassination squad led by a man named Bill. She seeks revenge after they massacre her wedding, leaving her and her unborn daughter for dead. Awakening from a coma, she overcomes paralysis and pursues O-Ren,
One ticket to Tokyo, please.
a member of the assassination squad in Japan. The film climaxes in a showdown revealing her daughter is alive and driving her to hunt down the remaining assassins, especially Bill. Throughout history, texts have morphed into new media forms, mirroring evolving societal values and ideologies. They serve as both the blueprints for future works and the continuation of past works. In media, there are truly no originals, all stemming from existing works that have reformed to resonate with a modern audience. Kill Bill offers an alternative view to the values presented in the original film. Lady Snowblood depicts themes of injustice, challenged tradition, and the violent consumption of the moral compass through revenge. This mirrors Japan's loss after World War II and its lingering trauma mainly from its falling soldiers and civilians. Scholar Steve Rose stated in his analysis of the film, Lady Snowblood addresses Japan's post-war purification and integration. It is a scathing attack on the patriarchal 1970s society. It sets a backdrop of societal unrest for the film's themes of revenge and justice. World War II's outcome for Japan further influenced the theme of revenge, consuming someone's being to drive them to commit violence. Tarantino built off these ideas when writing Kill Bill, paying respects to the film that aided in the creation of the modern action genre, though the themes of the moral compass was not the forefront in his film, as the World War II context which drove this theme in Lady Snowblood was not relevant to 2000s era America. Kill Bill offers an alternative view of Lady Snowblood, instead representing modern relevant ideas of empowerment, control, revenge, and survival. Both correspond to each other by exploring revenge and taking control of one's destiny against abusers. But Kill Bill paints it in a new light that resonated with the modern audience mindset and own experiences, allowing a more inclusive cast and mixed-race characters, such as O-Ren and Vanetta Green.
I decided O-Ren's not just going to be Japanese. She's going to be half Japanese, half Chinese, Asian American. And she's still going to rule the crime world in Tokyo. She will still be the queen of crime in Tokyo.
Kill Bill is considered a postmodern text influenced by modern ideas of empowerment, whilst Lady Snowblood is an exploitation film focused in the past. Though both films were created during a time where feminist ideals were evolving in society. Lady Snowblood during an age where women were taking on more jobs outside the home, and Kill Bill during the emergence of modern feminism, where the freedom of women in society was beginning to be normalized. The idea of female empowerment is shown through the two characters' skills and determination for revenge. Though Kill Bill glamorizes revenge as a path to self-empowerment,
When I woke up, I went on what the movie advertisements refer to as a roaring rampage of revenge. satisfaction.
Lady Snowblood portrays it as a consuming force that strips away humanity. This is because revenge is depicted differently in the two different societies. Kill Bill sees it as fighting abusive authority figures, while Lady Snowblood portrays an instinctive grudge cultivated in Yuki's mind. One is heroic of sorts, and the other is a downfall, mirroring the societal context of themselves. In journalist David Marcohini's analysis of the film, he stated, "You could argue that the bride's revenge is more glorified. Perhaps it's how she regains her sense of self. Lady Snowblood, on the other hand, was destined to get lost, and with every target she pursues, she is shorn of the last remnants of her humanity. As revenge should be, a dish best served cold."
The essence of a Tarantino movie is not the violence, not the action. It's the inside look at the mind and the heart of violent people.
Both films have a sense of rebellion to them, standing as something ridiculously out of the ordinary. This was intentional, as Lady Snowblood was released during the 70s exploitation film era, aiming to push the boundaries with excessive blood and violence to critique Japan's strict film censorship. Kill Bill mirrored this with its over-the-top blood effects and Japanese martial arts action sequences. A non-linear storyline was also present in both films, revealing backstories through scattered flashbacks, a popular storytelling method from the 70s films. Tarantino utilized a Japanese manga style of art style for these flashbacks, to keep a hint of the traditional manga style of its predecessor, with the more modern animation style of the 2000s which was beginning to gain popularity. Lady Snowblood was revolutionary with its feminist ideals. David Marcohini states, "He felt the story needed to hinge upon a strong female lead, to further communicate the character of a natural outsider from birth who wandered alone in pursuit of revenge." It was a clear-cut decision that Kill Bill would represent this in their own character, the bride, although challenging this to further build on the idea of a strong female lead. The film offers an alternative perspective through modern storytelling, showing the bride's initial lone struggle to survive, before coming out on top and controlling her surroundings.
You know, the bride has to really fight to survive.
Lady Snowblood was a clear influence for the cinematography and dialogue style of Kill Bill, many scenes being a direct copy to reflect its ideas. The fight for survival is shown through the rich cinematography of the film. The bride, initially confined by the stiff camera, though as the film progresses, the camera begins to move more freely with her during its fast-paced action sequences, showing her regained control. Lady Snowblood also uses this technique. In scenes where Yuki is more powerful, the camera sits below her or at her height. But in scenes where she is wounded or disadvantaged, the camera sits above her, belittling her.
あなた様のお力でこの者たちを探していただきとう存じます。
The vibrant colors of Kill Bill were used to both enhance the storytelling techniques by utilizing color to represent emotions within the characters in the scenes, also to appear similar to the traditional exploitation films in a 60s Western era film, which were both known for their saturated colors with their classic film techniques and cameras. Society changes stories and tropes with their ever-changing attitudes. Kill Bill and Lady Snowblood are a clear example of this, changing to fit with the times by corresponding to each other in clear inspiration, but still offering alternative viewpoints to their ideas. Tarantino both created a modern take on Toshiwa Fujita's film and a standalone masterpiece of his own. Kill Bill isn't just the product of Lady Snowblood, but the idea of a rebellious revenge film that challenged the very values it itself presented. As Michael Crowley in his review stated, "It is in my sense that Kill Bill is more of an imitation, revision, or reconsideration of 70s grindhouse and Western cinema. It contains too many cues that itself is more simply a sprawling homage or the story of an angry woman's revenge. But to achieve individuality, it needed its predecessor to pave the way for modern female-led action films to take place, giving the audience not only an entertaining visual experience, but a deep understanding of its changing ideas." Both films managed to be a perfect representation of each other in two different societal contexts, but also continue to each stand as its own film, showing that film manifestation doesn't always need to be an exact copy of each other, and that original ideas can be kindled by stories of the past.